Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Rangers Review transfer special. Today, we're going to look into Djeidi Gassama, who's on the verge of completing his move to Rangers from Sheffield Wednesday. It brings me great joy to say that I'm joined by my old chum, top football broadcaster and Sheffield Wednesday supporter, Naz Premji. Naz, how goes it?
Well, from a Sheffield Wednesday point of view, Derek, it goes very badly. But personally, it's great to be on and great to be speaking to you and great to see you again.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a long time since we've had a good old chat. So, great to get you on, Naz. Let's talk about your club first of all. Sheffield Wednesday, I really feel for the supporters down there at the moment. It's one of English football's illustrious clubs that are going through a bit of turmoil at the moment, aren't they?
We are, and Rangers fans have had this in the past where you have owners and people in charge of clubs that simply are not fit for purpose. And we have one currently in the form of Mr. Chansiri. And finally, he has agreed to talk takeover and potentially sell the club. But in the meantime, whilst we've got all these bills to pay, the fire sale has starting with Jedi Gasama.
Yeah, of course, we've already brought in Sal Bibble, the goalkeeping coach, who's very highly thought of down there, and Djeidi Gassama is another one on the verge of completing his move to Rangers. Naz, what sort of player is he? Because going by social media and the Sheffield Wednesday supporters down there, it looks like Rangers have got themselves a bit of a steal.
Let me tell you, Derek, normal circumstances, and again, I think the fee will come out as undisclosed, but as far as I'm aware, you're looking at around £2.5 million, £3 million as a fee. I'm presuming there's a sell-on and I'm presuming there's add-ons for various things. But in normal circumstances, Jedi Gasama would be going for 10 times that. You are potentially getting a £20 million player for the best part of £2.5, £3 million. He is raw. He is talented. He will excite you. He will frustrate you as well because he is still young. He's had his grounding at Paris Saint-Germain. He's played in the same team as Messi. He's a player that in the last 12 to 18 months, has really come of age. And whenever he's on, he will be fast. He will attack fullbacks and defenders. He will do things that other players can't do. He's a raw talent, Derek, a seriously raw talent. I think Russell Martin has played an absolute blinder because he's obviously seen him during his days down here, whether it was at Southampton or Norwich or elsewhere. And with everything that's going on, Rangers have acted very quickly to tie up a very, very good young winger. If I'm thinking from a Rangers point of view, and I'm going back a bit like Ted McMinn. Remember Ted? Obviously used to just attack, and that kind of player, a player that will really excite Rangers fans. And he's fast, he's quick, he likes getting on the ball. Sometimes the only thing and the only criticism I would have is he'll do magical things with the ball and then the end product won't be there, whether it's a shot or whether it's cross or whether it's sometimes the decision making when it comes to that final ball is still a little bit raw and he's going to make mistakes. But believe you me, Rangers fans, when you see Jedi Gassama in a Rangers shirt, you will instantly fall in love with this boy.
Wow. Rangers fans of a certain vintage will enjoy that Ted McMinn reference, that's for sure, Naz. What sort of system has he been? I mean, he's been there 2 years, hasn't he, since arriving from Paris Saint-Germain. What sort of system were Wednesday playing the last couple of years?
So you've got to remember, we in the first season where Danny Röhl took over, we were, we had 1 point. We were about 14 points off safety. So we were playing a mixture of 3 and 4 centre halves, and then you'd have basically a 3-pronged attack. So you'd have the main striker, and there'd be Musaba on one side, potentially Gassama on the other, or a combination of that. Josh Windass sometimes played off, but you had one central striker, and then you'd have the 2 fast wingers, stroke forward players coming in and supporting. So he'd be playing. Generally, he would be coming in off the right, but he's a talented boy, really talented, and he could easily play on either flank as that sort of attacking forward. I mean, in time as he develops, he could even be a central striker, but I don't think that's his strength, because he's quick and he likes to dribble and he likes to take people on, and because of his pace, and he's electric. By the way, he is a very, very fast boy. If Gassama gets on the ball, his first intention is, right, which way is forward, which way is goalwards? That's where I'm going.
Yeah, interesting. When the Owls got him initially, was it considered a bit of a coup? Or was it a bit of an unknown at the time, Naz? Can you remember if Sheffield Wednesday were
well, he came in during the Cisco era, and that didn't last too long. But he was one of those where I think we were the ones that took a chance on him, because others were a little bit unsure. And I think there were championship clubs maybe sniffing around at that point, but we got in quick, and we got him for a nominal. There may have been a free transfer with a lot of add-ons for PSG, because I know for a fact that part of that fee that we're getting from Rangers, obviously there is a sell-on, and PSG will be due some cash as well. So we got him very, very cheap. And in the last 12 to 18 months, Derek, he has developed into a smashing player. And again, as I said to you, in normal circumstances, you'd be entertaining bids £10 million upwards. Because of Wednesday's current financial plight, okay, this is why Rangers and other clubs have circled around. I think Blackburn Rovers were also interested in him, but Russell Martin and the Rangers hierarchy have acted quickly, agreed a deal. I think he's agreed a 4-year deal, personal terms as well. So it's good bit. It's a good bit of business. And if you are asking me if he will bridge that gap between Rangers and Celtic, yes, he is that kind of player where with an acquisition like Gassama and potentially a couple of others, you're going to be very, very close and a lot closer to Rangers than you have been, a lot closer to Celtic rather than you have been in the last few seasons.
Yeah, it certainly seems like an exciting prospect, that's for sure. Can you, off the top of your head, Naz, has you had any injury issues, anything like that at all?
The odd niggle here and there, but not a major. Not a major, because of the type of player he is. He's, contact injuries happen a lot, Derek, because defenders go for him. He's quick, so he's going to get a lot of contact injuries, maybe those sort of muscle injuries. But he's not had an extended period injured while he's been with us. There's been the odd, couple of week period here and there, and Danny Röhl has managed him really well. I think Russell Martin will probably manage his time, because obviously Rangers are going through a bit of a rebuild themselves with your new owners and new management. But I think there is there is a lot to be excited about. He's a good player. And you ask any Sheffield Wednesday fan on any forum, on any podcast, on any, we love him. He loved it here. And I think one of his social media posts said, "Great season. I'm looking forward to having a little bit of rest and going again." In an ideal scenario, Derek, we won't be selling him, but we're in desperate times, desperate measures, and the chairman is literally selling all the crown jewels.
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs. There's been other players that have been linked to Rangers, quite understandably, I guess. Josh Windass, I've seen as former Rangers player, of course, really came into his own at the Owls. Top goal scorer last season with you guys, Naz. He's been linked with a move away. I've seen a number of championship clubs said to be keen, interest from abroad. And Rangers as a name that's been floated in there as well. Is he a better player now? What could you possibly see him leaving? Could he come back up the road, do you reckon?
Listen, the Josh Windass that Rangers had first time round is a very different Josh Windass to now. This Josh Windass is superb. And I mean superb. He is a player that another player that scores goals. I mean, let's be honest, he's had 2 or 3 from the halfway line in one season alone because he's just been in that kind of form. There was one against Derby, which was absolutely phenomenal. But with Josh, you kind of know what you're getting, right? And I can see that happening. And again, if Rangers are very clever and very quick to act, because I know Wrexham are interested in Josh Windass. Obviously, in January, there was a bid from Santos. Of course, Pedro Caixinha at Santos was his former manager, loves Josh Windass, wanted to take him to play alongside Neymar at Santos. Okay. I can see him back at Rangers, yes. But it's all about if Josh Windass wants to come back to Rangers. But if Russell Martin and the new Rangers hierarchy make a case, then I could see that move happening as well. And I will say this to Russell Martin, you, the Rangers fans, if you are looking for quality players at a knockdown price, if it was me, I'd be picking up Gassama, which you've done. I'd be picking up Josh Windass. I'd also be picking up the other lad we've got on the other wing, Anthony Musaba, who's been linked with a team in Istanbul. And I think he's been linked with Blackburn Rovers and Preston as well. Musaba and Gassama kind of would give you 2 really, really good attacking wingers stroke forwards. And then you'd potentially have Josh playing as a 10 or even off a front man. For me, just raid us further. Just give the chairman his money and take those 3 players, and you will be in a lot stronger position going into the new season. But yeah, Josh Windass, first time round, take 1 at Rangers. This is a very different Josh Windass. He's focused. He's one of the best trainers we've got at the club. He's got camaraderie. You might not see it when he scores because he doesn't celebrate. It's just a job for Josh, right? And he's got that laser-like focus where, you know what, I'm playing football, I'm scoring a goal, that's it. He loves our fans. He loves our club. And I would argue Josh Windass would have probably gone a few years ago had it not been for his best mate, Barry Bannon, still being at Hillsborough. Okay? Yeah. He was gone. I think West Brom were interested as well. And he at the end of last season, he could have gone to West Brom, but he then signed a new contract. And they put in a contract extension. So they had an option to extend his contract. So they have extended his contract. But again, with the wages situation, if he's not been paid, you're going to get him at a knockdown price. It's another no-brainer.
Yeah, interesting. The lad Musaba, has there been any team sniffing about him, Naz, at all that you're aware of?
Well, yeah. Well, Preston and Blackburn are sniffing around. But again, if I'm Russell Martin, if I'm picking up Gassama and I'm picking up Windass, you might as well pick up Musaba and take all 3. And then you've got options there. And I'm not just saying just raid Sheffield Wednesday, because obviously Russell Martin have his own targets as well. But for me, if I'm a club circling, and this is what happens when clubs are in trouble, you get the sort of vulture effect for one, and it's nothing, and that's no disdain on the clubs doing it, because they're getting a good deal. Let's be honest. So if it was me and I'm Russell Martin, I'm picking up Gassama, I'm picking up Windass, and I'm picking up Musaba and saying, thank you very much.
Yeah. We know what that's like back in 2012, of course, when Star Assets were allowed to leave Rangers. Sorry to see what's happening there at Sheffield Wednesday. How do you see it unfolding, Naz? Are you optimistic that the future could be bright? Of course, you need to get rid of the owner there, but how are the fans feeling about this?
Listen, there's been lots and lots of rumor and conjecture, but what we do know now from reliable sources is that the chairman has now employed a a sort of takeover facilitating company, if that makes sense. A team of people that sell football clubs, and they've set up, you know, the accounts where the documents and like a data hub where all the documents and NDAs can be put, and buyers and sellers have access to all of that. So I'm hearing a US consortium are on the verge potentially of completing a deal, potentially towards the end of August into September at the very latest. But it can't come quick enough, Derek. It cannot come quick enough, because until something happens, you know, we might not have a club to take over if the next few weeks don't see some improvement.
Yeah, that's dreadful. Well, we wish you all the best, Naz. It's been brilliant having you on and to speak once again about Djeidi Gassama. It's been great to chew the fat, as they say. And hopefully that Sheffield Wednesday can see the light from the tunnel, and they can emerge out of this dark tunnel that they're in at the moment. So thank you, Naz.
And enjoy Djeidi, and hopefully some good times at Ibrox.
Let's hope so. There you go, folks. A bit of insight into Djeidi Gassama. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and we'll speak again soon. Bye for now.